It's your boy, I'm back. What's good, y'all? Yo, questions. Questions will open up. Put it like this. Questions are keys to unlock doors. Anything you need to know, you need not be afraid to ask somebody. You know, you going to church, you sitting there, this preacher preaching for 2 and 3 hours, and you sitting there, you going along with everything, but you have no questions afterwards. Do you really care to find out, or you just believe everything this man says? Yesterday, I'm on YouTube, debating with this dude named Voyage Islam. You know, his name should speak for itself, and I just got questions and, you know, comments too. And, you know, he got all this to say about Jews and Christians and Baptists, whatever, in which I'm none of those. But what makes your religion so much better than theirs? It's just a religion. Same shit now. I don't care what y'all want to say, it's the same thing. It all comes from, at one time, it probably was just one religion. And every community or every region, they adopted a different form of it. Islam is an Arab form of what you Christians would call Christianity. I read the Quran from cover to cover just for fun. It's basically the same as the Bible, the same fables and everything. The same people in there. They just change certain words. They just change certain names. You know? So where do you get off? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not even where do you get off. It's like, what's the point? What's the purpose? And like I told him, religion is the reason everything's divided now. There's more wars going on in this world over religion, more persecution going on in this world over religion than anything else. Even money, even power, even oil, whatever have you. If you really break it down, it's a lot over religion and evil. And religion is evil. You think just because you sit up in a pew for an hour, whatever, you listen to this pastor, he's leading you to heaven? He's leading you to hell. Because you don't even know the whole agenda. And you're not even smart enough to ask. You're not smart enough to read books that's out there that could tell you a lot about this particular faith that you practice. Islam, for example. They conquered all over the world and was forcing people to either convert or you die. That's been Islam's primary objective. That's what's going on in the Middle East. Basically. A lot of that is going on. Because you have a lot of Christians out there now too. The war with us is more of we're infidels. We're evil. The Western Hemisphere, we're evil over here, and these are holy people, and we need to leave their holy land. Well, all that's a fucking myth. There's nothing holy about them. And also, all you Americans, whatever, that take these Mohammeds and all that, and you think you're holy, you're wrong. Those are Arab names. There's nothing holy about them. They're very evil people. You have to be evil to be a murderer. Because God, as you call him, I call him the supreme being, he's about love. He's not about hate. He's not about killing. You're supposed to love your brother and your sister. So this dude avoids Islam, so we going back and forth. I told him I read the Quran cover to cover. And, oh, you didn't read this version of the Quran. Oh, so now, okay, now it's all these... Never mind all that. I read the Quran. So now I'm telling you what I read from, oh, that's not true, and blah, blah, blah. Muhammad, blah, blah. I don't hear nothing about no Muhammad. You don't even know if he existed or not. Like I said, that's an Arab version of Christianity to me. Muhammad is their Jesus Christ, basically. So, which they would deny, but that's true. You know, but basically I was trying to tell them, dog, all this shit is leading you straight to hell. You spending more time worried about bashing Jews and Americans and all this. Mind you, he's an American. Check him out, Voyage Islam. He tell me he's not an American. Like, I ain't been living here all my life. Like, I can't recognize an American accent. You know, he's sitting over here with all this Arab garb. Dog, you can do that all day long. That don't change what's in here. But we have to ask questions. These organizations, you guys are joining. You're not asking questions. You just following these men. I talked about the new Black Panther part. I'm not even going to stay on them, but I will want to emphasize. Yo, you need to ask questions. Stop just wanting to be a part of something. You know. And furthermore, in the words of H. Rap Brown, Jamel Amin, you know, a revolution has no leader. So if you're involved with a true revolution, there is no leader. So this Malik Zulu Shabazz, I'm very angry with him for even using Brother Minister's name. He bears no likeness to him whatsoever. He's not a leader and he's a poor speaker. You know what I'm saying? Using this man's name, basically he just doing it for publicity. There's no true revolution going on. And the true revolution can't just be with black people. It has to be with all the people. You can't discriminate on that. That's number one. Number two is, I see these young, dumb, stupid motherfuckers. That's what y'all are. You join an organization, but you don't ask no questions. You don't even know what's going on. I'm talking about, all I can really talk about black organizations because that's all I don't know anything about joining an all white or all Asian organization. Of course, they wouldn't let me in because, well, you see. It's like people with the nation, you joining for what? You know? You sitting up here praising him and you doing all this. He goes back to his mansion. You go back to your 2-bedroom apartment with your 4 kids and your $8 an hour job. At least if I'm going to hang around you and peep your game and listen to your speech like that, at least let some of that rub off on me. And you don't ask any questions. You have no questions. That's why you're called a follower. Followers don't ask no questions. And I'm not cool with that term. I don't want anybody to classify me as that. I'm not a follower of anything. I'm my own man. I walk my own path in this life. And it took me a long time to get like that. I was just like a lot of people. I was searching for something. I wanted to be a part of something. I wanted to help something. I wanted to help with something, all positive, you know? Until I got to the point where I said, you know what, bump it. I'm going to just do the best I can for me and try to better me and mine around me. And if somebody do come across my path and I can help them or spit some knowledge to them or whatever, then that's cool. But that's nothing I'm going to force on anybody. You know? And by forcing, I'm not talking about putting a gun in somebody's head. It's other ways. And the mass media, the internet, thing like that, they really able to get their word out more and more. But I'm going to dedicate the rest of my life and my time to exposing these organizations, exposing and exploiting these religious groups and embarrassing them. And showing people what they really are. And I want to encourage y'all, everybody who watches my videos and subscribed and all that, to do the same thing. Start asking these clowns questions. You know, they always quick to quote a scripture or a book. Man, bump that book, man. We talking like we two adults over there. We talking. I don't believe everything I read in no book. You don't even know who's the real publisher of that book. You claim the Quran is the purest thing, whatever. It's been manipulated like I said. It's a knockoff of the Bible. Lot, Abraham, everybody's in old, so they'll say, well, they're prophets. It's the same stories. So this was revealed to Muhammad, so how it got revealed to you other people too? I don't even want to go through all that. I'm too intelligent to even sit and try to decipher all that foolishness. That's like with the Elijah Muhammad being the messenger of Allah and that's all bullshit. If you're going to be actually stupid enough to believe that, yo, I feel sorry for you. I don't care if you're 15 or you're 50. You's a stupid motherfucker, man. Real talk. You stupid. Remember Martin? How Tommy used to tell Cole? You stupid. Y'all stupid, man. If you're going to sit there and listen and believe all that hype, you know what I'm saying? That really makes no sense at all. It makes no sense. There's no merit behind it. And you following these men. I just put a comment on something. I was watching something about Khalid Muhammad. They praising this man, freedom. What did he do? The last great leader we ever had, I'm talking about African Americans, white people for humanity, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That was the last one. He died in 68. Malcolm left in 65. That was the last great man for freedom for all and injustice. And he gave his life, and he was all about action, not just words. He didn't spend all his time behind a pulpit preaching. He was out in the streets with the people. So that's what I'm talking about. And I bet you he was the type of man you could have went up and asked him anything and he'd give you an honest answer. Because he looked like an honest man to me. And I ain't never met him a day in my life. But I'm a pretty good judge of character. But these clowns that you see behind these pulpits and all that, these TD fakes, Eddie Longs getting rich, for you stupid motherfuckers, you motherfuckers that been in college for 4 years, have master's degrees, doctorates, and you can sit here and listen and believe this man's a man of God? Even after the things he's done, and you wouldn't question. Even if you don't go ask him a question yourself, you wouldn't question it to yourself? Come on, man. I just can't believe that. I just really can't believe that. You know? And I just don't understand why we won't ask questions. We encourage our children to. Most of us anyway. So you think as an adult you know so much that you don't have to ask, you don't have to look for truth? Wrong, man. For real, you're dead wrong. Cause yo, you gotta read, you gotta research. If you're gonna be part of the religion, cool. That's what you wanna do, cool. But at least know something about your faith. You know? Don't sit here and tell me the same thing I heard from everybody else. You know? And then don't get angry and irate and cut a debate short because you know you've been outwitted. And you're basically just you're not intelligent enough to come with a rebuttal. I go through this all the time on Facebook. Had my account suspended by people just because they couldn't take the debate, man. Because they got caught slipping. Because I'm asking them questions and they can't give me a solid answer. I'm asking them, like, how do you think Elijah Muhammad, how do you worship a man like Elijah Muhammad, call him a prophet, when this man had 4 and 5 young children, 4 and 5 children by young women, and he was married, teenage girls? You know? Oh, you shouldn't believe everything you hear. What? What do you mean believe everything? These people are alive. What are you talking about? You know? Oh, Malcolm, he was no, he wasn't a hypocrite. Elijah Muhammad was a hypocrite. And the great thing that saved Malcolm was he questioned. He questioned his faith. He questioned his loyalty. And that's what ultimately made him change his mind and go the other way. And that's what I'm telling you. You have to question a person's character. You don't just go along with anything. Especially when you suppose this man is supposed to be leading you, you know what I'm saying, to heaven, supposedly. Or the paradise or the afterlife. You know? He's leading you to hell. We've seen it with David Koresh and a lot of these Mormons, FLDS, and you know, and Jim Jones. You know, Jim Jones. How people are so naive and so weak-minded that they'll believe anything a man says and they'll follow him. And they'll literally follow him to the death and follow him to hell. And that's what happened with Jim Jones and those people in Guyana in 78. You know? They literally followed him to hell. Because they wouldn't question any of his motives. And he loved that. And he just went along and he did whatever he wanted to do. And are you going to be that individual? Are you going to go along with anything? Are you going to stop and take a second and just, wait a minute, this don't make sense, but he said this, but are you going to do that? And when you do that, watch how that preacher or that imam or that leader of that organization, when you stop and ask him questions, watch how his attitude changes towards you. Peep that. Peep that. You're going to be a problem. You're going to be watching monitored now. Because now you think you a know-it-all. You actually sit up and ask, you say why? That's a threat. That's a threat anywhere. That's a threat where we live in this country. When the gas went up, nobody just stopped and said, why? We need to ask. We need to get answers about this. When all these bailouts happen, nobody actually, enough people didn't say why. And we demand an answer for this. And the unemployment rate, we're not demanding answers. You know what I'm saying? To our questions. And this is why we in the dark. And until you can realize this and figure this out, you're going to always be in the dark. You know? You have to search for truth. If you have, or you go to a school in the United States, with the exception of math, which is almost, flawless from error, anything, and reading English, but anything else you're really being taught, like history or science, most of it's a lie. Most of it's myths. Most of it hasn't been proven. History is manipulated to tell you what they want you to know. His story. Science is there's been a lot of tests and hypotheses, nothing proven. Evolution, I can go on and on. I just had a strong premise. If you wasn't there, I really pretty much can't believe you unless you have some very credible evidence. I just can't believe you if you weren't there physically yourself, or I know somebody, or you know somebody that was there and could tell me the story. I'm fortunate enough. My grandmother, when my grandmother's still alive, she grew up in the 40s and all that, 30s, 40s. She knows about that era. My daddy grew up in civil rights. I get first-hand accounts about this. And that comes from me asking questions and being curious and wanting to know how life was before this. Because all you Negroes think you got it so good, it wasn't always like this. People in general, how we think everything's so easy. You weren't always getting $400 and $500 worth of food stamps. People weren't giving you jobs. Men actually had to have a skill. Carpentry and things like that. And women knew how to sew and make their children's clothes, and people planted and grew their meals and they grew and they killed animals and shit, and they went fishing. Every stop wasn't at Walmart and McDonald's. So that I really like to ask questions about that time period, and people were stronger back then. But the one thing that never changed, a lot of people, especially poor people, their faith was in religion. Their faith was in these pastors and these preachers. And they believe that they might suffer here, but they're going to a better place. So we'll keep the preacher in his Cadillac while he's sleeping with somebody's wife in the church and all that. And we'll brush all that under the rug because he's a man of God. God chose him. God chose him to lead us now. People believe that, and they believe that today. And like I said, I feel really kind of bad for you. Whoever you are out there that believes that, don't be a follower. Drop the religious stuff, man. If you believe, I go to the source. I don't need no man to lead me there. I go to the source myself. That's my relationship with the Supreme Being, because he lives with all of us and all of us. And you should think it's a problem with religion anyway. How can something so powerful and so ultimate be, given a man-made title like him? He. How did they know? How could something that created us be a him or a he? God in his likeness. That sounds man-made. That sounds like something man would say. A church. These is man-made things. That's not nothing that he told you had to be. He wants us to love and have good hearts and good souls. And I believe that's what will take us, to wherever we go after we leave here. But unfortunately, nobody's ever came back and told me what's on the other side. So I don't want to worry about that until I get there. I'm concerned with living and learning, because life is a learning process. That's what you're here for, is to learn and love. And until people can really truly understand that, it's going to be wars. It's going to be a lot of killing and raping and all that. That's what's going on in Africa and places like that. And to that guy Voice Islam, it's crazy how you just, I said, you block my post because you see that You couldn't sway me. You couldn't change my mind frame. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they really want to do, y'all. See, they don't want to talk to you no more if you don't think the way they want you to think. That's man-made religion. You know? I'm telling you, start asking questions and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to be a problem. You have to go. You can't be with the other followers. You'll corrupt them. Oh, everybody thinking for themselves? Then what they need the preacher for? You see what I'm saying? Oh, there go his Cadillac. Oh, there go the deacon's wife. You know, once everybody open their minds. You know? But for Islam, you know, don't try it though. You know what I'm saying? Because like for real, for thousands of years, y'all have conquered all over the world. You know, using Islam. Basically telling people, if you don't convert, we're going to kill you. Oh, how you know? Okay, go through the history of Islam. That's what it's done. How do you think it's spread? You think everybody just like, oh, I'm going to be a Muslim? No. They've conquered, they've killed. And it's still going on. That's what's going on in Africa. The Arab Muslims are killing African Christians and Muslims. Ain't that something? Look at Darfur now. If you don't believe me, check out Darfur now. And they tell you that on there. Yo, we Muslims too, we just African. But I thought they I thought Islam, yo, that's my brother. Yo, we brothers. Whoop-de-whoop. Word, right? You know what I'm saying? And to me, out of all the faiths, they the worst because, you know, Catholics, whatever, they pretty much do their thing, and Baptists, everybody, they pretty much do their thing. But Islam is the one thing where, you know, they really don't want to deal with you if you don't, you know. And my last thing, cause I'm finna go, but this is the voice of Islam. Yeah, I'm gonna keep talking about this clown, man. Yo, dog, all that little garb you wear and Bismillah, all that, you American, dog. Cut all the Arab talk out. You ain't no Arab. You know what I'm saying? All you clowns out there, just because you believe you got an Arab name, it's a holy name, it's an Arab name. They do the same dirt that we do over here. And ain't nothing holy about them people. They wouldn't be killing their own, raping their own. Look at the Dancing Boys of Afghanistan. It's on Netflix. It might be on YouTube. The Dancing Boys of Afghanistan. Where these troops, these commanders and all that, same ones fighting our troops, they pimping out young boys, man. They gay.